So today's lesson is about standard, expanded, and word form of numbers. So let's start with the ones you already know. Standard form. You already know what standard form is. This is an example of standard form. Standard form means regular. It's the way you've been writing numbers since you started writing numbers. It's the regular way of doing it. You also already know word form. Word form is simply the words that you say when you read a number correctly. So in this example, we have 37 and 435 thousandths. So although these two forms, standard form and word form, look different, they mean the same thing. Or in other words, they have the same value. Now when we expand something, we're talking about spreading it out. And when we're dealing with numbers, we're going to spread it out by place value so it keeps the same value. So here's our number from earlier. Now, since we're going to expand or spread out this number by place value, let's use our place value chart from yesterday. If you don't have yours, pause the video and make another one because it'll help you with today's lesson. My 3, it's in the tens place. My 7 is in the ones place. The 4 is in the tenths place. 3 is in the hundredths place. And 5's in the thousandths place. And let me put my decimal in, of course, as well. Now, if you recall from our lesson from yesterday, the tens place is like having a $10 bill. Our ones place is like having $1 bills. The tenths place is like a dime. And remember, it would take 10 dimes to make one whole dollar. That's why they're called tenths. Our hundredths place is like a penny. And remember, it takes 100 pennies to make one whole dollar. That's why they're called hundredths. And then we don't have any coin to represent how small a thousandth is. But just like it sounds, thousandths, it would take 1,000 of them to make one whole. So to come up with the expanded form, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at each place value to figure out the value of that digit. So starting here, I have a 3 in the tens place. So that would be like having 3 tens or 3 $10 bills. Well, that would be worth $30. Next, I'll look at the ones place. I have 7 of them, so that would be like having 7 $1 bills. So that would be worth $7 if I think about money. Next, we're looking at the tenths place. I have 4 of them, so it'd be like 4 dimes. That'd be like 40 cents. But we're going to say 4 tenths. Looks like that. Next is the hundredths place. I have 3 of them, so it'd be like 3 pennies. So that would be 3 cents, which would look like this. And finally, I have my thousandths place. I have 5 of them, so that would be worth 5 thousandths, which looks like this. Now here, I'm going to get rid of the bottom of my place value chart so that when I show you what expanded form is, it'll be a little bit more clear. So individually, each one of these numbers is simply the value of the digit above it. This 30 represents the 3 tens. This 7 represents the 7 ones. This 4 tenths represents the 4 tenths. 3 hundredths, that's my 3 hundredths. And my 5 thousandths is my 5 thousandths. So each number just represents the number above it, the actual value of the digit. And when you have those values, you just put a plus sign in between them. And that is expanded form. We just pulled the number apart by place value, wrote the value of each digit, and created expanded form. So this number right here, this has the exact same value as our standard form. It means exactly the same thing. It's just a different way of writing it. It's just been pulled apart. It's been expanded. And we've got one more number form to talk about today. It's called expanded notation. And expanded notation is going to show the value of each digit using multiplication. And we said this 3 was worth 30 because it was like having 3 $10 bills. So this is what the expanded notation of that place value would look like. And we can check it because isn't 3 times 10, doesn't that give us 30? And wasn't this 3 worth 30? So it's all the same thing. Next up, we had that 7. That was like having 7 $1 bills. So that would be 7 times 1. 7 times the ones place gives me 7. Then I had 4 of these, and it was in the 10th place. So it's 4 times the 10th place. Then I had 3 of these, and it was the hundredths place. So it's 3 times the hundredths place. And 3 times 1/100th would give me 3/100ths. And then this last digit here was a 5, and it's in the thousandths place. So it's going to be times 1,000th. And then to finish it off, the last thing I'm going to do is put the plus signs in between them to bring it all together. So this right here, if you actually multiplied that stuff out and added it together, it would give you that original standard form. So this is 1, 2, 3 different ways of writing the exact same number. And then of course, we've got the word form too. 37 and 435 thousandths.